Residents living in a Blackstone apartment building are quickly looking for new housing after they learned where they live will be demolished.
6 News' Philip Katafamo spoke with tenants today about their next steps.
Some say they received an email, others a notice on the door saying they have to move out of these apartments on 38th Avenue and Dodge.
It was towards the end of last month, and it was like, hey guys, this is out of our control. We're going to demolish your building. You have 30 days to leave.
Former resident Theodora Undergrove says her lease was scheduled to end in December. She was planning to move out of state then, but that's happening now. Undergrove says property management did offer assistance to move her and others to another location owned by them. She declined.
It just kind of felt like, you know, here's a fee that we can waive that doesn't really add anything. We're just taking your money in a different, more creative way. And that's what it just felt like to me, their assistance.
Isabel Morenigo has been a resident since May 2022. She says she learned about the demolition while talking to maintenance.
He had told me that the management, they were not going to be fixing a lot of things because they had been thinking about selling the building.
Morenigo says a notice on the door alerted her to reality.
And so it was really frustrating because it didn't give us a lot of time to look for a place.
She tells 6 News she also declined to move into a new property ran by her current landlords. Her and her husband Tim are instead trying to lock down an apartment nearby. Scott Mertz with Legal Aid of Nebraska provided some information about what you should do before finding yourself in a dispute with your landlord.
Keep your documents, whether they be the leases, notices that you get over the course of the tenancy, and frankly receipts each month. Keep it all together as just a potential necessity if things go bad.
Mertz also says keeping that paperwork together is key if you decide to speak to an attorney about your housing issues. As for Isabel and Theodora, they're excited to officially move on. On your side in Omaha, Philip Katafamo, 6 News.
6 News did reach out to the property management, and they told us most tenants have vacated the property and claim those tenants have been happy with the communication about the demolition.